Hello, my name is Ruth Lomax, and I am privileged and pleased to be sharing some services of worship that we're calling Evensong, for lack of a better name, but a time of evening reflection, prayer, and stillness. We are gathered for all of these services on the traditional lands of the Newell, the people of the Sundance culture. But more than a land acknowledgement, we recognize that all land is sacred, that it gives us not only life, but our lives are intricately interwoven with it. Community is sacred, and the land and the community work together to sustain all life. These services are brought to you by the Peoples of First United Church, serving in the county and the city of Wetaskiwin. Most of us know what it's like to have a place to call home, or a place where our soul feels at home. And it is our hope that this time in the evening, or wherever you pick up the video, will offer you that sense of coming home to the heart of God, to know yourself known and loved. You might like to have something handy for journaling. Know that you can pause the video at any time. We'll be doing a few bits of music, some of which are simple refrains, and you're welcome to join in whenever you're ready. There is one piece of music for which the words will appear as an overlay. Again, we hope that you take what is helpful and draws you more deeply into this time. So let's just take a moment or two to be ready. I wonder what you need to be ready to worship now. You'll know there are some practical things that you might like to have handy. You might choose to create your own sacred spot. Sometimes we'll use an underlay, perhaps a reminder of the liturgical season in which we're in. Or it might be a piece of cloth that is particularly special to you, or a piece of wood or tile. That's something that helps to ground this time together. You might also like to have a candle to light. The candle helps focus our attention as we worship, but it also helps create that intention to be present to the holy in ways that we are not always during the rest of the day. You might also choose to have an object, like a stone, or a figure, or a memento, or something that speaks to you, either about the natural world or about where you're at in your own journey. This space might change from week to week, but it might also be something that you share in your home as a way of inviting others to pause and to acknowledge the holy. Objects of the natural world help remind us that we are part of this earth. And that's part of our hope as we work through some of the different settings and places for our Evensong, that you know that connection to this good earth that God so loves, and know yourself a part of it. I wonder what the land is like where you are. I wonder what you might include in your sacred space. It might look something like this, it might look nothing like this. But as we gather and worship, we remember that all of God is here, and all of God is everywhere. Where two or three are gathered in my name, I am there, I am there. Where two or three are gathered in my name, I am there, I am there. Where two or three are gathered in my name, I am there, I am there. In Matthew's Gospel, chapter 5, verse 4, Blessed are those who weep, for their tears will be wiped away. Let us pray. At the setting of the sun, in the darkness of the night, with the whiteness of the moon in its splendor, we move with the earth as it turns. We are carried by the hours in their passing. We enter the dark with our years to seek shelter in night's sanctuary, to find strength for our souls, to know peace in our prayers and our resting. At the setting of the sun, in the darkness of the night, with the whiteness of the moon in its splendor, we seek peace. All around, everywhere, everywhere, all around, everywhere, holy, holiness. In our words, silence too, in our words, silence too, holy, holiness. You're invited to take a deep breath and into a time of stillness and awareness. You may choose to put your phone on silent or airplane mode for the remainder of this time. You may choose to curl up in your favorite chair with a glass of water or a cup of tea or hot chocolate. To make yourself comfortable, you know what you need. And then to take a deep breath. Become aware of your surroundings, the smells, the feel of cloth upon your skin, or the wind, or the sun. What can you see? What do you hear? Take another deep breath and let some of the cares and worries of the day slip away. Know that you can pause the video at any time if you want more time in silence, or for the wondering questions, or perhaps to journal in response to something that you experience. I invite you to take another deep breath and settle even more deeply, to breathe in the holy presence that is love and grace and home. And to breathe out the fullness of peace and wonder that is our soul at rest. Are you ready? Our readings come from 3 faith traditions. From the Jewish Testament, Psalm 147, verse 3, God heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. From the Christian Testament, in Matthew 28, do not be afraid. I am with you always. From the Quran, Thunder 13, verse 28. In the remembrance of God, our hearts are confronted. You're invited to pause the video if you choose and take time on your own to pray or to meditate or journal. you may want to think about these wondering questions. I wonder what needs binding up in your life. I wonder what prayers you would offer for the brokenhearted. I wonder what fears you need to offer to God. I wonder who might need the comfort you have to offer. You're invited to join in the singing of In the Quiet Curve of Evening, number 278 in the Voices United, and the words should appear on your screen. In the quiet curve of evening, in the sinking of the days, in the silky void of darkness, you are there. In the lapses of my breathing, in the space between my ways, in the crater carved by sadness, you are there. You are there. You are there. You are there. In the rests between the phrases, in the cracks between the stars, in the gaps between the meaning, you are there. In the melting down of endings, in the cooling of the sun, in the solstice of the winter, you are there. You are there. You are there. You are there. Let us pray. Our heart is comforted in its awareness of you, soul within our soul, life within all life. Our heart is comforted in remembering you, giver of this day, gift of every moment. May we be bearers of comfort. May we be strong in our soul to cry at the wrongs of nations, to weep with the bleeding earth, to mourn with those who mourn this night in the loss of life and lands, in the loss of dreams and hope. May we be strong in our soul this night. You're invited to offer prayers for peace. Peace for the earth and its creatures, peace for the world and its peoples, peace for our fathers, peace for our mothers, peace for our brothers and sisters and siblings, for our parents, for our neighbors, peace of heaven's vastness, the peace of ocean depths, the peace of earth's stillness, to bless us in the night, to bless us this night. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.